Good evening, and welcome to another scene in the Living Legend of the Five Rings, the finale of the nonsense that happened in Kamina Village. We find our samurai having gathered somewhere in the interior of the village after the traumatic events that took place. Night is fast approaching. The sun has dipped below the horizon, and everything is beginning to get dark. The villagers have been sort of rounded up by the Ashigaru in the village center, and they're dutifully standing guard. So that leaves the rest of you to sort of figure out what you're doing.
Have we had a chance to find and gather our comrades?
Yes.
So all the bodies are laid out here?
Yes.
Okay. Makoto is going to ask Yume to look over the injured parties. And once it's discovered that Reo is definitely deado, she'll cover him with have something brought from somebody's house to cover him. But first things first, get Tetsumura stabilized. That's your...
Yeah, OC, can you repeat who is on rubric of deep hurt?
Asura and Tetsumura are both in their down rank.
Okay, let me work my magic.
For Asura, it's going to be -5 for your TN to heal him.
Well, you'll wait your turn. You wait your turn, sir.
But, okay.
Shish. That dragon. Okay. We're in first or second dice roller. Which one? Somebody's typing. Okay.
Mr. SP.
He is typing. Okay. Position 1. So this one is okay. I'm on. What does the efficiency does? Okay, it's just 1-0. Okay, I'm at 53. Okay. So how do you on this machine? Okay, so so I'm gonna go for Unicorn Buddy. Unicorn Buddy first. So he is healed for 11. Next one is Mr. Scorpion, I think.
Dargan.
Dargan.
Seimei managed to go through this entire conflict without losing a single point of health.
Oh, okay, no. Oh, so it was the Togashi.
Indeed.
Oh, okay. So, Nelson, talk to me about how you make my life more difficult.
Easier. It's -5 to your TN so it's easier to do the spell because Moto does that.
Is what?
We have a thing where if there's a spell done on us, we can raise or lower the TN by 5.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be easier for you to heal me.
Okay, so it would make it TN 5. Bejeebus. Well, you're on for 28.
Yay!
Okay. So two other spells down. How? Yeah, I mean, you only got 11. Is anybody other than Tetsumura hurt?
There are people who are hurt, but they can walk.
Okay, and I guess 11. What does it puts you, Kimberly?
That puts me at 19.
Apparently the bird is happy.
Sorry.
Victory heal.
Okay,
I
so
know.
I'm gonna keep it for now if he can walk, because we never know what we might need.
While he is figuring that out, what are the rest of you doing?
Asura looks to actually he was already out when Sojiro came, so he looks to Makoto. Where are the children? Are they safe?
She nods. And murmurs, I've asked them to hide. They're doing a good job.
What about the Ronin?
She points at Sojiro and cracks a smile.
Sojiro's probably dragging a dead body into the dead body pile. And he just kind of looks over and offers a very etiquette-free wave.
Quick note, not to say that what you did was wrong, but touching corpses is a super bad no-no. Corpses are unclean. That is what you have ETA for.
Oh,
So,
excellent.
Oh,
yes.
gotcha.
Yes.
Sojiro is doing something helpful, and then he waves from the thing that he's doing.
He's pushing the corpse with his Tetsubo.
If he doesn't have a preference, if there's nothing specific he wants to do, Makoto would actually have kind of asked him to stay close, because she's not 100% comfortable with all these villagers, and she's still just kind of barely holding herself up. So she's kind of asked him to remain as a big Tetsubo and an angry face in case it's needed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sojiro keeps his Tetsubo on his shoulder, while holding the handle with one hand, just kind of looking angry.
Perfect. Love you. If Tetsumura is down, well, whether or not Tetsumura is down, if Ryo's down, Makoto has stepped up and is being bossy all over everything. If anyone gives her a hard time about it, she lets them know that she's taken control of this expedition. And is, being super bossy. Yeah, sorry, Damien, let me get it. Where's Seimei in all this? Because he's the one she doesn't have much idea of.
Vaughn, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Seimei, is going to have the Ashigaru kind of separate some people. Young, old, young, old, young, old, young, old. How many people are here by chance?
There's about 30 peasants.
So, he'll pick out about 6 in total. kind of like separate them to one side in a group. Not like you want to say young, I don't mean like kids or anything, but like a adult compared to like an elderly person. And he will look to the group as a whole and just say, I am the Yoriki Bayushi Seimei under the Lord Otomo Kyoshin. I'm going to spare polite words, and I'm going to ask you politely, because it's been a trying day. Who here has been working with the Ronin?
What was that last sentence? Who here what?
Has been working with the Ronin.
When you ask that, there is a very, very slight murmur among the gathered up peasants, and all of them have been like sort of moved to prostrate themselves on the ground before all of you, and they none of them speak up.
Does the general do they just seem scared, or does it actually seem rather like...
Oh, they're terrified.
It's too early in the morning for this.
I love you so much.
Did by chance GM, did we get any kind of like writ of like authorization to like punish people?
No.
All right.
Generally speaking, when it comes to peasantry, samurai can usually make up their own rules within their own good judgment.
So am I to take it this whole village is complicit? Everyone here is responsible for the death of these samurai here? Please don't make this more more troublesome than it needs to be.
So there's a sort of panicked like gasp that kind of goes through the crowd, and voices do begin to rise. But eventually, all of you just hear a enough, and an old man sort of like makes his way to his feet with much difficulty. And he says, "Great samurai, you'll have to forgive these peasants. They're not used to the great clans, you understand. We don't want to cause you any more trouble, so in order to allay that, you can blame me. I'm the village elder."
Just let me be clear in stating that you are admitting to working with these Ronin.
I'm admitting to whatever it will take to spare these poor folks.
Seimei kind of narrows his eyes a bit, motion with his hands for the old man to move him towards a group of Ashigaru. Moves his hands towards some Ashigar to tell him to apprehend the old man.
They do.
And looks to the other group that he had specifically separated and tells Ashigar to let them go.
They scramble back to the crowd. There's now a low sort of groan of quiet weeping going throughout the peasantry.
Well then, we have our admission of guilt. I'm sure Lord Otomo Ocean will come up with a punishment for the village, or not, whatever. Shall we make arrangements to return?
Makoto is watching him. Is he asking her that?
Basically, yes.
Okay. She nods and glances between him and the villagers. Is there anyone else who looks like they're in charge besides this elder?
It's hard to say. I mean, you don't really know the inner workings of the village. You don't know their hierarchy or their structure. Village elders typically tend to be the ones people look to for advice and all that. So,
Did we recover the bags of barley that were loaded on the horses?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Do we have any idea what the village's like yearly contribution was supposed to be?
Not particularly.
Okay.
That is as a matter for merchants, not for samurai.
Yeah, okay. Makoto is going to tell the Ashigaru who are available to load 3/4 of those bags onto their own ponies for return to Otomo.
Okay.
And leave the last fourth behind.
Yeah, they begin to frantically do that. Speaking of which, Seimei, you would know that, like in this instance, if you are going to levy some sort of judgment, this matter is probably well below your lord's notice. If you're not like slaughtering the whole village, which is bad, if you're just punishing somebody, this is well within your purview.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really not worth his time to judge one peasant, right? Like, sort of that. Like I said, it falls to your judgment, and based on that, like, if your judgment says that you're going to spare the entire village at the cost of this one elder, like, you can levy that punishment because the Lord's not going to care, and may in fact be insulted at you wasting his time if you brought that before the Moto, or the Itaku rather.
Oh, okay.
If this is indeed your judgment.
Am I allowed to give something over the village as well? Like
That
no.
stuff is more political, but I'm talking about if you're going to punish a criminal, like that is within your purview.
Okay. So yeah. If that's the case, then with the old man's admission of guilt, Seimei will just have the dude like kneel,
Mhm.
and he would just pull his blade and strike off his head.
The wailing becomes a little louder among the Haymen.
And then he'll just say, "Let it be known, anybody who works with criminals shall be put to the blade, or hung, or exiled in these now reclaimed Crow lands." Please use this as an example and spread the word. And if you know if there's any more Ronin and where they're coming from, specifically the ones that took over this village, I am open for you to come to me.
The Ashigaru begin to go to their various storehouses and dragging bags of barley.
Wait, what are they doing? They're stripping the place?
They're taking, like you said, 3/4 of the barley.
Sorry, I meant the barley that the Ronin had loaded for their portion. 'Cause the Ronin had loaded up their horses to take away
Mm-hmm.
a bunch.
I mean,
So
a bunch is not a lot in terms of the whole thing. Like, Ronin are taking kind of what they can carry,
oh, okay. Okay.
which is a fraction of the total harvest.
Okay. Well, Makoto is as blank as I am about probably what's owed to the Empire. Yeah, she's not gonna have them break open storehouses. Just take the stuff that was loaded from the Ronin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll approach Makoto and Sojiro and say, "Do we know if the children have another parent that can take care of them?"
Yes. I have sworn to return them to their father. He is under the service of Lord Otomo.
Good.
Will you
And he'll
arrange
nod.
for
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Will you arrange for some manner to transport them? Horses, or take what you need. They have small legs.
And he'll nod. Do we have a carriage or something, or is it still people?
No,
Everyone just walking.
you have a pony per person that came with you, and Tetsumura killed all of the peasants, or the Ronin's horses, rather. So
Seimei can walk.
well, you have a free horse because Rayo died.
Oh, that's right. Oh, it's sad.
I killed a horse.
You
Say
killed a horse.
He'll ask where the children are.
If they are in their house, I'll go with you to fetch them. They're frightened.
I know. They were frightened when I came in the first time. They weren't sure if I was part of Hellsmile, the bad people.
She nods and then nods towards Sojiro. I believe we have convinced them rather thoroughly that they will be safe with us, and that we're returning them to their father. Sojiro, if you are confident that you can retrieve them without undue fear, perhaps the two of you will be willing to fetch them.
Sojiro nods.
She kind of scans his face for a minute and then Asura's. She's entirely confident in their good intentions, but wants to make sure they don't look nervous about it. And if they both look comfortable, she just nods.
Yeah. Asher looks comfortable. He does look like he has something on his mind, but he looks completely comfortable.
Sojiro's he's got his brows a little bit furrowed. He's trying to look hard. A samurai has died.
Speaking of which, what's going on with that?
Can I ask what the etiquette would be? Do we take the body back for a full funeral? There's 2 samurai bodies, right? Well, I guess Makoto will set the peasants to finding the other samurai body if Kaede's body is not immediately findable.
Protocol would be, obviously, you really want to, like, proper funerals, burning the bodies.
Okay.
I don't think that you have a good way of transporting them.
Sure. Okay. Seimei-san, if the law has finished. She glances expectantly at him.
Yes. He asks in question.
Then I will arrange for these to take care of, to begin preparations for an appropriate funeral before we leave.
Sure. My part is done.
She bows to him and turns to look at the villagers for a moment and then gives orders for whatever Etta are there to find Kaede's body and prepare Reo's body with all honor for an appropriate funeral. Well, for burning, I think they'll have to do a real funeral back when they're not in the middle of nowhere. Less than the middle of nowhere.
Yume will assist with a funeral fire.
Yes. So you may go ahead and roll me a intelligence theology roll to make sure everything's right. TN5. Real easy.
You said that to me, and I didn't pass 5. Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
I don't know. Getting a Gaki Reo. That could be bad.
That would be pretty bad.
Raise.
Yeah. Just. I'm still confident, but fuck it. I roll whatever. 21.
You did it. You know your funeral rites, your Rokigani funeral rites, and
I just forgo unicorn parts.
Oh yeah, you do it with.
Oh no.
All right, the ST will come back.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the meanwhile, I make a coffin, I put it in there, and I make a tombstone. I'd be like, this is Rokugani tradition, right? In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, ramen.
Wait, Robin?
Ramen. I made Robbie laugh. I win.
Ramen.
And
Wow.
also, you may well ask the peasants to dignifyingly burn the poor horse.
Aw, yeah, we'll give him a funeral too.
Thanks.
Horse funeral.
Sometime in the mix, Makoto is going to take a moment to step aside and thank Yume quietly for the extra health. It's very nice.
the small batch of 8 health.
I mean, it's better than it was.
Yes.
She was limping around on 2 points from crippled. Now she's just hurt.
Hmm.
This nasty
She
flesh cutter arrow in the middle of her is probably pulled out.
she will invite anybody that's wish to receive further treatment to come and see her later. People don't want to have the patience to wait for their wounds to close themselves.
Makoto will also ask quietly for for those who she hasn't. I guess for basically everyone to report to her what happened. And explain the details of their battle and what else they've seen, preferably before they leave.
Well, on her account, Yume will, I guess, tell how they pursued a Ronin on horse that was leaving with money, and that the bastard shot Tetsumura's horse, and that she made sure that he was terribly sorry. Which also because she's kind of covered in blood with her Bisento not being a very subtle weapon.
Okay. Tetsumura, do you want to tell your story?
Biscuit, now is not the time for laughing, baby. Come on. Tetsu will just kind of sit there, very. I'm not sure if grumpy would be the word. I guess heartbroken. His horse was murdered in front of him. And he'll just kind of say, dealt with the Ashigaru that were under the Ronin. Killed the horses. Another Ronin walked up and bested me in combat. And then murdered Jinsoku.
She nods. Will you oversee the rites for those among the peasantry who were slain?
Me.
Yes.
I am no Shugenja.
I mean the practical. What's the word I want? Oh, it's so early. What's the word I want? The practical considerations.
The Miranda rights?
Yes, thank you. I assume your clanmate will help you with the spiritual ones, but
He nods.
I expect you are best on. I expect that you are. Oh, what's the word? Best able to decide the
Capable?
appropriate amount of honor for those who betrayed their lords.
Would that not be best figured out by Bayushi Seimei-san?
Those who were slain, taking up arms against us. She glances at Seimei in case he wants to chime in here, but
I'm
she
sorry,
says
what is she trying to do?
she's saying that those who were slain, taking up arms against us, do not need the judgment of heaven. Their guilt was in their hands.
Yeah, they violated the celestial order. They're dead. They don't have no honor to receive.
Basically, she's giving Tetsumura a chance to pee on everybody's grave if he wants.
He's not gonna do that, but he he will nod and say he'll just nod.
Welcome back, Andrew. I was asking everybody to tell Makoto what happened while you were gone. See if you want to pick up.
Yeah. Essentially, the Etta, such as they are, go and gather the dead, make nice big funeral pyres, and Yume conducts a funeral.
Did they find Kata's body?
Yes, after some time.
Ew.
Decomposed and abandoned. Picked over.
By the way, what was that, the head Ronin's name? I know it started with a T. GM-san? Sama?
Tatsuo, I believe.
Tatsua?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Seimei, or not Seimei. Fuck. What's my name? Sojiro. Sojiro will take a moment. Are there any flowers nearby?
Yeah, you find some chrysanthemums.
He'll pick some and wind their stems together. Before they light up her picked corpse, he'll get real close to it, as close as he can without touching it, and drop it from the shortest distance he can onto her corpse. He presses F to pay respect.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
so the night is illuminated by large funeral pyres.
Togashi-san, will you tell what you have seen?
As I was with everyone, the Kaede, or rather the ghost of Kaede, attacked me. I thought it best to defend myself till I figured out a way to stop her. Striking her obviously didn't work, as we saw with the arrow. I tried myself with my katana and it just went through her. I looked back upon my training and remembered that ghosts like her, spirits like her, are here because they have unfinished business. I told her that we would avenge her death and take care of the village and her children, and she screamed. She said that there was nobody to save them, to rescue them, and so this is when you arrived. The rest of the story goes as well. You were with me. I went to retrieve her and her children, and you two Ronins. When I arrived at the house, the two children were in a room. I asked them if they were safe. They told me they had been alone for quite a while. Before I had time to ask more questions, I heard a noise, and so I ventured forth so that if it was a Ronin, he wouldn't see the children, and that's what happened. It was a Ronin. I guided him out. He ventured outside of the house so that he would have an more open battleground to fight on. I tried to fight him, but I did not have the skill to. Then I woke up. And he'll smile at her.
She kind of smirks and nods. And turns to Sojiro.
I ventured further into the village until I found a storehouse. And hiding in there was a large man. He spoke words of injustices, clouded from one who lacks an honor. We fought, and Sojiro kind of glances over at his armor, and there's a pretty sizable dent in his breastplate. It says, after he was felled, I understood that there were matters back here that we were supposed to regroup. And you know the rest.
She nods appreciatively.
Mm-hmm.
Gives him a very brief bow. And then turns to Seimei.
Seimei puts his hands behind his back again, kind of adopting that stoic demeanor. And he just looks at you and says that I took the orders of Makoto-san and took my Ashigaru and went house to house. And when my Ashigaru engaged, I continued the search on my own. I was ambushed by a Ronin. Unfortunately, he wasn't very good at what he was doing, and I engaged him and killed him. And then I happened upon you all.
She nods. Andrew, in terms of, do we need to leave someone here to... I mean, obviously, the village has been retaken, but they need to reestablish contact. Do they need to leave someone here to do that? Can they deputize a villager? How does that work?
I mean, these villagers probably aren't going anywhere. I think that you can safely leave and just send somebody back.
Okay. when Sojiro talks about injustice, she kind of looks out over whatever is around to see in the dark. And then goes to find Tetsumura.
He's doing what he was told to do. He's being a good little bushy boy. So he's probably out towards the edge of the village, just watching the Edda throw corpses into like a big pile or something. I don't know.
I have heard rumors that you are fond of those who serve heaven from far below.
Just kind of turns his head to look at her and arches an eyebrow.
Her face is completely stone blank. But except for one eyebrow that's raised into a question.
There are many ways someone could take the word fond.
I realize you are fond of innuendo as well, but in this case, I mean that you have established a rapport with them in other places. Is this so?
Hi.
I have heard murmurs of injustice here. You have time before we leave, and can do so again. The matter is solved, and yet, if there is more to know, I would like to know it.
He kind of stands there for a moment. Say, with all due respect, Daidoji-san, and this is not to say that I would not wish to do that, but that sounds very much like investigating in politics. And the last time I tried to do something of that nature, I was told that a certain Bayushi was the law and all matters of such.
The law has been handled. I do not expect you to second guess the law, nor do I ask it. If there is a complaint, I would hear it. It is not a legal matter. The law under heaven has been resolved, and well done. I do not ask you to go among them as the law, only as a pretty face. She smiles thinly.
I will do what is asked of me, and what is my duty.
Her brows raise, and she gives him kind of a brief, piercing look.
He arches an eyebrow, kind of like in a question.
Very well. I appreciate your willingness. On my head be it. If others complain about your conversations, please send them to me. We will discuss them. And she bows, and leaves and heads back to go finish arranging things to get them ready to leave in the morning.
And as she does so, out in the fields, a large number
That was a cliffhanger. A large number.
A large number of Gaki are just chilling,
I know,
Maybe
right?
it's
Like,
waiting to attack you guys.
Maybe it's just a large number of squirrels running around.
I'd like to make a roll, a luck roll, and I'd like to call 5 raises that it is a large group of fireflies.
Would you believe your eyes?
oh, you cheated. But,
I did.
oh.
I did cheat. Context clues.
I'll be right back.
Or it could be like a large group of Ronin come to kick our asses.
Well, that'd be awesome.
I mean, for you, maybe.
Said the crab.
Shit, the rest of us apparently just can't hit.
I will not fail. Dunk dunk.
Tessu said the same thing, and then them dice rolls was like, nah. You don't fail today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happened with my full defense. I was like, I'm gonna get full defense. I'm a dragon. He's not gonna hit me. And then the dice were like, yeah, nah, fuck you.
Andrew's rolls were just, man.
Right? Like, you had
I know.
chance.
I mean, if it wasn't for unlucky, I'd be dead.
Jeez.
Yeah, as you said, Robbie, I dodged a bullet in that last scene.
Yeah.
So he does 50 damage. Is he unlucky? Yes, he is. Okay, holy shit, thank you.
Balls. I dedicate this moment of silence to Rayo.
Aww.
Should be here.
He shall forever be missed.
Yes.
Until next week.
No, forever.
Okay.
Oh, sad.
He shall be the lion that we never really got to truly meet for very long.
He could have been a good lion, and there aren't many of them.
Lion.
Hmm?
He was a good lion.
Yeah.
He shall be missed.
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
You cut out right after you said that in the field, large number.
Yeah. In the field, has risen a large number of fireflies, sort of casting a ghostly glow over everything, the darkness. And for a moment there, it almost seems as though you think out of the corner of your eye, you see Koro Kaede watching you in the fields. But when you look back, it's gone, just like that. And unless anyone has anything else, I think we can end the scene there. As you guys, the next morning, pack up and head back to Kyuden-Koro.
That works.
Huzzah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Victorious, but not without a cost. Thank you,
No.
players, for playing, watchers for watching.